and gentlemen, welcome back to the first Hills of West Virginia podcast for the second semester. We are now our own thing.
2024.
2024, we are our own thing. I'm Stephen Askin.
I'm Eric Ashby Brown.
And,
Did you have a good break?
I had a great break.
Did you watch a lot of sports?
Oh, I watched a lot of sports.
Did you? Did you watch that Florida State game?
Yeah, I watched that Florida State game.
Did you?
Or at least I watched half of it. And
I was wondering if you were
watching.
watching that one to see how that would go.
Oh, I made sure to watch that one.
Okay. Because I watched the Michigan-Alabama game.
Oh, man, I watched that Michigan-Alabama game too, and they called a timeout to run that last play at the end. It was horrible. It was terrible. It was no good, and now it is.
With Alabama, I'm okay with them giving him the ball because, I mean, everything was up. It was off tackle. Michigan really couldn't stop him. I just think that the snap was bad and timing was off with it. I'm okay with giving the quarterback the ball. I had no problem with that play, but that's just my own personal opinion on it.
Well, ladies,
because I'm glad they lost. So the Michigan Wolverines are moving on.
Well, not only that, ladies.
And not only that, but we got even bigger news.
Yeah, we got even bigger news. So that game right there was essentially the decider.
The
first semester Hills of West Virginia
inaugural trophy.
The inaugural trophy. It goes to the Mr. Eric Ashby Brown.
All right,
he's won it. I concede. You know,
there's a lot of hard work that went into this. A lot of statistics. Who am I fooling? I just guessed.
Yeah,
we all did. I will take it. Do I get to keep this, or do we have to hand these back every year, or what?
That's
it'll
yours
be in
forever.
my room. Well, it'll be in my because you're retired.
Yeah.
After this.
Yeah,
we have to find someone
for
that until you lose.
Until I lose. There it is. Right there. I'm off to the side. Thank you very much for that.
So that was the unfortunate news. So Michigan won, but Washington also won in an excellent game.
Washington's got a pretty daggone good quarterback too.
Yeah, Michael Penix is very good. Texas gave him everything they could handle. They fought till the bitter end.
I think that they pulled ahead a little bit in the third, and the Texas was just. I think that the score really wasn't what truly happened on the field. I think Washington pretty much controlled the whole time. Texas brought it close.
The second half definitely felt like Washington just
on cruise
dominated.
Control.
Yes, and then they kind of were. I mean, again, that was almost a disaster sequence from the injury that caused the clock to stop to then the punt. It was just absolutely but
we
got
a championship next week,
and it's a championship I'm excited for.
Are we picking that, or
we are picking that? That's going to be the inaugural pick for the second semester.
Is it start now, or
it starts now? We start now. Hopefully, you were paying attention.
Hail
to everything this
to the victors. That's my pick.
So Washington.
It's going to be Michigan Wolverines.
Oh, it's going to be Michigan.
That's my pick.
This entire season, I have talked about how much I want Washington.
Yeah.
I think the Pac-12 was the best conference in the nation, and I think Washington's going to go out there and shock everybody.
So wait.
The only fitting way for this college football season to end is for a Pac-12 team to win.
Well,
yes.
Okay, but do I get another trophy in May then? When I pick all the right ones?
You just keep that one.
I just keep this one.
Yeah.
All right, so.
If he comes back and wins, he can take it to school with him.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'll parade it around.
Okay. All right, so we got our picks then for the national championship.
I got Washington. So now we've got some basketball, some hoops to talk about.
Now we're in basketball.
Now we're in basketball season. We'll talk about NFL a little later on the show. So I'll tell you what, we might have a team here, okay, in Musselman. Hot start to the season. They beat Park South a couple weeks ago. This week on their road trip, they went to Greenbrier East and won by 10. And yesterday, they went out there against Woodrow Wilson and won by 1.
Eagles,
a good team.
In overtime, right? It went to an overtime game.
I got to see the game on YouTube.
Yeah,
Congratulations to them. Like I said, we might have a team.
You don't have a lot of time to celebrate because now we're into UPike play starting tomorrow night.
Rivalry game.
Make sure that you're here tomorrow night for the game.
Tomorrow night. We need the support because it's going to be a good one. The Musselman Appleman versus the Hedgesville Eagles. Rivalry game. The team that last year bounced the Applemen in the regional championship game. So it's going to be it's kind of a little bit of a revenge game for Musselman. But then not just that game. We've also got another big game. Martinsburg and Spring Mills.
Spring Mills might look like it's the most dominant team in the state.
Gosh.
So, so I'll tell you what, you're a fan of basketball. Tomorrow night, you don't have anything to do. Where are you going? Where are you going to spend your money for your ticket and get your popcorn ready? Well, which game are you going to go to?
If I was just the common man who is not going to school at all, I would be. Where's the game at? Is it Martinsburg?
It's at Spring Mills.
It's at Spring Mills. Yeah, I'd be going down to the other end of the county, north.
Not this guy. I'm coming here. I'm eating somewhere locally, like the dining room. I'm getting their fish and mac and cheese and coleslaw, and then I'm coming in here and getting seats for the JV game and get ready for the announcements. There's nothing like a Hedgesville Musselman game.
It's gonna be exciting.
I'm there. I'm there. I don't know if you see the rivalry stats at a Spring Mills Martinsburg game that you would at
No, you can't. I don't think you can.
So just for and then I'm gonna go home and then I'll watch that one.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Maybe I'll be multitasking tomorrow. Being here at our game while also watching that.
Oh, there ain't no maybe. I know you will.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get going.
Here we go.
What are we doing?
Musselman and Hedgesville. I'm pretty sure both teams are 7-1. Stats. If we could get some verification.
I don't know who Hedgesville's lost to though. I thought they were undefeated.
I think they lost to. They played someone that they lost to. I can't remember who it was, but. Hedgesville, obviously, Kelly Church every year in, year out, just is always
Kelly is a shout out to you. We've been friends for about 2 decades. Worked with Kelly for about almost 20 years.
But another man who has a solid team year in, year out. That's Derek Basile.
Derek Basile. Worked with him. Good guy. Lives right around the corner from me.
I'm a little bit of a homer.
Hedgesville 6-1, bro.
6-1. Who was their loss to?
Basketball.
Okay.
DC.
Okay, I know.
team,
Yeah, they bring it in a tournament, maybe, or something like
Probably,
that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 2 good records that we have coming out of us tomorrow.
Musselman, of course, I think we have the more quality wins. We've beaten some very good teams. We haven't played any UPike teams yet, but I'm a little bit of a homer. I think Musselman's a tough physical team. And the thing of it is, it's a revolving door every night of the guy who is the difference maker, the X factor in the game. Against Parkersburg South, it was Andon Santa Maria. Last night, it was Gavin McLean. He was just sinking threes. I don't know who it's going to be tomorrow. I know one guy who's going to play well. That's Troy Wollaston. He is consistent day in, day out. He's what they run the offense to, and he allows that other guy to be the X factor for the game. So I'm going to take Musselman at home to win this game against
I tell you what, like I said, I'm a Musselman grad, but I did coach and teach at Hedgesville for some 2 decades. Really good friends with a lot of those guys out there. Kelly Church runs a phenomenal program, and he will definitely be ready. But my heart lies with the Musselman Applemen, with Derek Basile, with that coaching staff. Wish them the best of luck. I want to see a great game. Great game for the fans. Great game for the players. Hope everybody plays well. And I wouldn't mind seeing like an overtime game. I think that brings the excitement there.
Look,
with Musselman coming out right at the end and winning it.
Musselman, they're the cardiac kids. They play nothing but close games, and I don't see this game not being a close game.
Okay,
so we
got Musselman. All right, let's go to the next.
So now, of course, we're gonna go to Spring Mills.
And Spring Mills ends up beating Morgantown.
Yeah,
and they beat Parkersburg South.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, stats, correct me if I'm wrong, were those the 2 teams that were in the state championship last year?
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah,
they beat those 2 teams. Are they undefeated at this time?
Yes, they are undefeated.
Okay, and then how about Martinsburg? Have they lost any, or have they?
4-1.
All right.
4-1, okay.
Okay, who's their loss to?
Lindsley.
Okay, Lindsley's a private school, isn't it? Okay, that's a private school.
I would assume Lindsley's pretty solid.
This is going to be a good game too, but I'm telling you what, I've heard so much from the other end of the county. A buddy of mine, his son goes out to the north end, and he's like, there. He went and saw them. He's like, Eric, they are the real deal. So I'm going Spring Mills Cardinal in this one.
Well, I'll tell you what.
But I think this might be a close one too.
I think it's going to be very close.
This will determine a factor because we don't really know a lot about what's going on. We besides Musselman, I haven't seen any of the other teams.
Well, I saw a little bit of Martinsburg and Jefferson.
Martinsburg won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Martinsburg, that full. Now, granted, Jefferson was down a couple players.
Okay.
But Martinsburg, that full court press is no joke, and they're going to give
Dave
problems
Roger runs
to
out
anybody.
well. Yep.
They're certainly going to give problems to Musselman. They gave problems to Jefferson, but Spring Mills.
Got to get the ball past half court.
Spring Mills right now. I mean, they've got.
You see my trophy, by the way?
I do see the trophy, and I'm just over here just
All right.
starry-eyed.
I see your
looking
face
at
gets
it.
red every time I see it.
But
Stop looking at it. You can't have it.
But Spring Mills. I'm going to take Spring Mills.
Okay, so we're both in agreement with that.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to win this next trophy. I'm just going to pick everything you pick.
Oh, okay. We're just going to be in a deadlock tie.
Yeah.
Tie
That's,
goes to
that's
the
how we do
previous
it.
champion. So now, ladies and gentlemen,
Continue with basketball.
yeah, continuing with basketball,
And
we
college
have
basketball.
a very special guest. Okay, his name is Sid Crist. He is the head coach of the UPike Bears, or assistant coach of the UPike Bears.
And we got to give a shout out to Stats for getting our guest in.
Yes.
Thank you, Stats, for bringing those
Stats, you've
into
done a
it.
great job.
Really appreciate it.
So thank you, Sid, for being on the podcast.
And thank you guys for having me.
So you of course, talking to you a little bit before, you talk about how in the recruiting process, a lot of times kids, they kind of have this D1 or bust mentality, right? Where it's either D1 or it's no college at all. Talk a little bit about the benefits maybe of picking a smaller school like UPike.
Yeah, there's a ton of benefits. One of the biggest benefits to me, I think, is something like class size. We've got 1,200 undergraduate students on our campus, and our student to teacher ratio is about 14 to 1. So obviously a smaller class size, and then you take a kid that's an average player on a mid-major team or a really good player on a low-major team. What they can do when they come here to me is a little bit different. They have the opportunity to leave a legacy here.
Yeah.
They can go to a mid-major school and average 7 points a game, or you can come here and average 19 points a game and make the national tournament and play for championships. And when you're done, you make the Hall of Fame and you leave a little bit of a legacy. So I think there are obviously multiple things that we can offer that most Division Ones. I guess there are a ton of things that Division Ones can offer that we can too. But I think from an experience standpoint, we can offer things that maybe that they can't.
Yeah.
Hey, Sid, this is Eric Brown for the Musselman Podcast. Hey, I just wanted to ask you, you're from West Virginia, correct?
Yep. I'm from Fayette County.
Hey, could you tell us how your journey was that you left from Fayette County and ended up at UPike? Can you tell us a little bit about that? Give us a little bit of background.
Yeah, so I actually grew up in Fayette County, Ansted, West Virginia. Graduated Midland Trail High School. I played a year of college basketball at Glenville State. And then the guy that had recruited me left Glenville after a year and went to Fairmont State, and so I followed him there, and then spent 3 years there with him at Fairmont. He was the assistant. Now the head coach of the Boston Celtics is Jim Mazzulla.
Missoula, yeah.
And then did 3 years at Fairmont State, and then I spent a year at the University of Charleston, a year at West Virginia Wesleyan, and then I'm now in my 6th year at the University of Pikeville. I actually worked with a gentleman at the University of Charleston who was an assistant here back in 2011 when they made the when they won the national championship, And so just kind of networking through him and met the guys down here, and a job was open, and I applied and got it, and the rest is history.
That's a great story. Hey, Midland Trail, if I ask, what year did you graduate?
2012.
Okay, that's young. In 1989, I was playing for Musselman High School, and Midland Trail came up here for a playoff game. So I had a connection with Midland Trail through football at that time.
Yeah, my dad would have been coaching basketball at that time. I don't think he was coaching football.
Okay.
So now let's talk a little bit about UPike now. You guys are 11-4. You guys are an NAIA. You guys are 11-4, solid season, 9-2 in your conference. So, Coach, can you just tell us a little bit about how your season has gone, and what your guys' expectations are going forward?
Yeah, it's been good. Last year we won 20 games and made the national tournament, won a game in the national tournament. My boss is Ty Compton. This is his 4th year as the head coach. He's been here. This is his 15th year overall. And so, just like any other staff change, that the staff change happened in 2020-21 was our first year. And, we've been kind of laying the foundation, the bricks, as you will, over the course of the last 2 or 3 years. And finally, second semester last year, things popped for us. We got going in the right direction. So we've been able to build on that. Like you said, we're 11-4, 9-2.
Yep.
It's been good. We had a great group of dudes that are mostly regional. A few transfers that are not from the area, but most of our guys are pretty regional, and they're great dudes that listen and are easy to coach. And you talked about the trajectory and the projection of our season. When you have guys like that, it makes it a lot easier. I'm not going to speculate necessarily on what I think we can or can't do, but I will say that they're an awful fun bunch to coach.
Oh, yeah. Well, Coach, we will be rooting for you here on the Hills of West Virginia podcast, all of us here. So, you guys got, I guess, 3 extra fans, and if anybody else in the room wants to be fans.
Well, we got hundreds, if not thousands, of listeners.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, hundreds of thousands of listeners. Hopefully everybody watching at home, University of Pike, they are the team of 2024. Okay. So
thank you, Coach.
So, we'll be rooting for you, Coach. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate and good luck.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Anytime you need some gas bag to come on here and you have to holler at me, I'm your guy.
All right.
Sure thing. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, UPike. There you go.
UPike, ladies and gentlemen. So that's college football. We've gotten down some high school basketball and college basketball. But we got one more thing because it's week 18.
Oh, my.
Oh, man. This guy's a Steelers fan, and he's got one more stressful week.
This season's still going?
Oh.
Yeah.
I checked out a long time ago as a Panthers fan.
Oh, well, as a Commanders fan, man, I can just watch it, no stress.
When our owner threw a drink on a Jaguar.
Yeah, oh, my.
Oh, look, well, I'm so glad that as Dan Snyder left, the ghost, the spirit, you may have killed the man, but you haven't killed the idea.
This is almost like deja vu. And I can't, stats, you would have to look up the year. But I remember one year, if Pittsburgh wins and help, they're in. And they won. And I want to say it was the Raiders and the Chargers. If they tied, they both got in, and the Steelers. And daggone it, if I think the Chargers went ahead and kicked a field goal and knocked the Steelers out. Am I right?
That was a couple years ago.
What year was that?
Well, no, okay, I remember.
And so we're in a similar situation with this.
Well, I'll tell you what. For one, Mason Rudolph, Mike Tomlin, when
there's no drop back. It's just catch, throw, catch,
and that's
throw.
all you need. That's all you need.
And we have 2,000-yard rushers. Not since 1985 he did that. Go all the way back to 1976 with Franco Harris and Rocky Blyer. So I got some things that I'm happy with.
Yeah.
You see this trophy?
I see the trophy. And here's the thing. You were talking about midseason, just how terrible it is and just how, this is such a bad season for the Steelers. They were 7-6 at that point.
Well, I never would say terrible.
Well, you didn't say terrible.
Last year, the Raiders kicked a field goal against the Chargers at the end of the game. They won 35-32 and knocked the Chargers out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
Okay.
I remember. Yeah, I remember that game.
Yeah. So anything can happen this week.
Oh, anything can happen. And
2 years ago.
2 years. Okay.
2022.
Raiders. Okay.
And here's the thing: Mike Tomlin is the worst coach of all time against 2-win teams, but he's the greatest coach of all time.
Well,
when that 500 streak is on.
Lamar's not playing. I don't know how many are playing for that.
No,
the Ravens have set this up.
Starters.
This looks like a game the Steelers would definitely win, but then
likely going to be in the snow.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but
Yep.
you know me, I don't care trophy or not. I'm going with Pittsburgh Steelers to get in. And then the next game, Texans Colts. I'm hoping for a tie. I'm calling a tie.
You're calling a tie?
You heard it right here on the show. Tie between the Texans.
This guy right here very well may just retain his trophy
Yeah.
because I'm going Steelers too.
Okay, and
All
a
right?
tie.
I'm not going with the tie. I'm CJ Stroud right now. There was talks from me, probably me only. I was in a little, vacuum. I said I was hoping that, maybe we could slide him into the MVP conversation. That's not happening.
That guy lives in Baltimore.
Yeah, that guy lives in Baltimore, and his name is Lamar, and he's far and away.
Plays running back in San Francisco.
I don't know. I mean,
hey, if McCaffrey would have had an Alvin Kamara versus the Vikings in Christmas 2020, okay,
yeah,
against the Ravens,
I like that.
I would have said
The last few games kind of let him down a little bit.
I like that. Yeah, you're right. If it weren't for the last couple games.
Yeah,
so we got our picks in for MVP too.
So
I'm picking the Colts if I have to because I think that it's in the Dome. Texans coming up there and playing. Colts got a lot to play for. Both of them do.
Here's what we'll say: if they tie, we'll give you it. If the Colts win, we'll give you it. But if the Texans wins, we're giving it to me
all right,
because I'm picking C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans to win this football game.
C.J. Stroud even played?
Yeah, no, he's playing. He's back. And also Nico Collins is back. Yeah. The Texans right now, they took him a little they had to get a little healthy. No Tank Dell. But the Colts, they're so well coached. This is going to be two very, very good games
right.
Come Saturday. So then, of course, now, of course, this is just the crazy ripple effects. If you're a Steelers fan, Steelers win, you may not even need this game because the next day in Tennessee. Now, this is the weirdest game because I don't even know if Trevor Lawrence is playing.
I hope he's not.
C.J. Beathard, I think he's the son, I want to say, or son or
Bobby.
grandson of Bobby Beathard.
Yeah.
Great general manager for the name redacted. Okay.
Washington team.
Yeah, the Washington football franchise. Got them to multiple Super Bowls.
Mike Vrabel also came out in a press conference and was pretty intense that, we're going to win. We're playing to win.
Well, did somebody tell him that he's still got Ryan Tannehill as his quarterback? Because, oh, man, if it's Ryan.
But he's also got Derrick Henry in the backfield.
Yeah, well, King Henry.
I'm going with it. I got to. I don't have a choice. I'm going with the Titans. Please, Titans. Please.
Here's the thing. You're seeing backup versus backup. Anything can happen.
Oh,
I think I'm going to go with the better coached team, and the better coached team is the team down in Tennessee.
I agree.
All right?
Mike Vrabel, another talk show. Where could he possibly end up next year?
Oh, man. Hey, listen,
bring him to Carolina.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to see him ruined as a head coach, though. They ruined Frank Reich so terribly.
Where are we headed?
You know who they wouldn't be?
Because at 9 o'clock, I got to do the Achieving Appleman.
Oh, well, don't worry. We got that. We only got a couple more games to pick. But, yeah, like I said, Mike Vrabel, if you want to come to the Commanders, I'll personally
You would take Mike Vrabel.
I would love Mike Vrabel.
I think there's a team up north. Would they be interested in him?
Maybe in New England.
All right.
So, there we go. So, Vikings-Lions doesn't matter.
I got the Lions.
Yeah, I got the Lions, too. But they're playing their starters. But now you got the NFC South championship games.
I think the Saints are going to roll in this one.
I think, listen,
the
I'm a Taylor Heineke fan. I have no idea if the guy's playing or not. No one knows what Arthur Smith does, okay? Arthur Smith could have the greatest show on turf, and he would have ran that offense through a practice squad wide receiver.
So you're picking the Saints, too?
I'm picking the Falcons.
Oh, okay.
Because Taylor Heineke has that dog in him. He has that grit.
All right.
So the Falcons are going to win.
Taylor Heineke's got an ankle injury.
Oh, my God. Never mind. Saints are winning this game.
See this trophy?
Saints are winning this
He
game.
can still play, but
this thing is nice.
Announced the winner today.
He's a gamer, but the gamer might not even be in the game. That's a pun. I think the Saints are going to win that game. And I think the Buccaneers
are
going to lose that game.
What?
Whoa!
What?
Upset of the week alert. Upset of the week alert. The Panthers. There was a game a couple years ago that was down in Duval. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who were 2-14, Urban Meyer got fired, were terrible. They had the number 1 overall pick in Trevor Lawrence. Okay, it looked like everything was terrible. They played a certain team out of Indianapolis led by Carson Wentz.
I remember that. Yeah.
And Carson choked, and the Jags won that game and got the Steelers into the playoffs that year. I think we're going to see that again, except this time.
I remember that. That's right.
You got Bryce Young coming off a week where he threw for 112 yards. against a beat-up Jaguars defense.
Yep.
Well,
I'm going Buccaneers.
well,
Keep your pick. Keep your pick.
It's a Todd Bowles coach team, so anything is possible. Okay, you could throw Nathan Peterman out there, and we could see that guy throw for 400 yards against a Todd Bowles defense when he's the head coach.
What's up?
So now we're gonna go to the NFC East championship games. Okay, the Washington Commanders. Oh my gosh, the Washington Commanders. I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to really talk about this game because it's just gonna be a slaughtering. Okay, Ron Rivera, what are you doing, dude? He's a little snake bitten, but you bench your quarterback, say he's broken and he needs a reset, and then your backup quarterback gets injured in practice.
Who is the quarterback for Washington this week?
It should be Jacoby Brissett, but if he's hurt, they're gonna go with Sam Howell again. Against the team, of course, that completely shot his confidence on Thanksgiving on a national audience, the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys right now, no one wins the NFC East in back-to-back years, and it's not going to change this year. Cowboys, they're winning clinch. Sam Howell starting. Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh. Well, it's
This goes out to Artie Hartman on our staff and our basketball coach. The Cowboys win this game, Artie.
Cowboys win this game, but
And-
the Eagles beat the Giants.
The Cowboys resting people?
No, 'cause
I
they
don't
won,
know
they
if
win
that
the division.
Eagle-Giants game is – I think it's going to be close.
I think it's-
half their starters and probably still win the division.
Probably. I mean, yeah, the Commanders, I mean, they're a dead team right now. They're a dead franchise. But the Eagles are probably going to be up big. And then all of a sudden, you're going to slowly see that Matt Patricia defense creep in. And they're going to.
How many yards did James Conner have running against them last week? That's what I want to know.
Kyler Murray went out there and diced him up. James Conner diced him
If
up.
Taylor just follows Saquon into the end zone instead of trying to pitch it, they win last week.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's,
But I do think that's going to be close.
I think it'll
New York.
be close. I think it'll be one of those where the Eagles got to hold on exactly like they did in the first game. Eagles got a big lead. Giants crept back into that game.
There are some
You know.
people that say this is the greatest rivalry in sports.
And that is
I've
such a
seen that in
lie.
the NFL. I'm
Huh?
just saying. I've
First
seen it
off,
before.
Ohio State, Michigan. Second of
Well,
all,
that could be for
Reds-
another show, but
North Carolina.
Yeah,
they-
that is
there are some people.
Giants, Eagles.
Pitt, West Virginia.
What do you got? What's next on the?
Well, now of course we go to the last game of the NFL season.
I'm picking 49ers over Rams.
Well, we're not picking that game.
I know, but I'm just saying.
You're just saying. Well,
Go ahead.
I'll give a pick
Carson
to.
Wentz starting for the Rams, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going with the 49ers then, because there ain't no way.
Yeah, but who's starting?
I'm picking that game.
But who's starting even for the 49ers?
Sam Darnold. But
Oh, that's right. That's right.
yeah, but I'll take Sam Darnold
okay.
over Carson Wentz any day of the week. So here we go. We got AFC.
And look at
East.
this. This is on 8 o'clock. This is
Yeah.
your prime time
Prime
Sunday night
time,
game.
Last game of the year. Josh Allen and the Bills are walking into this game. They just played a weird game against the Patriots. For whatever reason, Bill Belichick going up against NFC East teams besides Miami or AFC East teams besides Miami. The guy just he's Houdini. He's always
Yeah,
finds a
he
way to
knows
at
what
least
to do.
make those games close. And the Dolphins are kind of dead right now. They just
Yeah.
got annihilated by the
Tyreek
Ravens.
Hill, is he back?
I don't even know. He just had a house
His
fire.
house is on fire.
Yeah. Who was the Dolphins player that's out for the season? Nick Chubb, right? Nick Chubb. Bradley Chubb.
Nick
He's-
plays for
Nick Chubb's out for the season with the Browns.
Browns.
Yeah, with the Browns. I knew both Chubbs are out with the Browns with the ACL injuries.
I am so conflicted in this game because at the beginning of the year on my fake podcast, the Hail Mary podcast starring myself and Jason Kamlowski, I picked Buffalo and the 49ers goes to the Super Bowl. If Buffalo wins, the Steelers are out, correct?
If
Sort of.
Buffalo can miss the playoffs if three things happen. So I'm looking at it right now. The Steelers got to win. The Titans or the Jaguars got to win, and someone has to win the Texans and Colts. If they tie, and the Texans and Colts tie like you predicted,
I predicted the tie.
and the Jaguars win, and the Steelers win, then the Bills are out of the playoffs if they lose.
All right, I'm going with the Dolphins because I have to. I think the Bills will win,
Is
but
Tua
I have
playing?
to pick the
'Cause
Dolphins.
I know Tua got hurt in that game last weekend too. Look, Mike McDaniel's a great coach. I think the guy is
Whoever wins this is the AFC East champion.
Yeah, and they get the 2 seed. And, potentially probably going to host, barring something unforeseen happening in the wild card round. They're most likely going to host the Kansas City Chiefs in the second round of the playoffs for Patrick Mahomes' first road playoff game.
Tua's playing.
Tua's playing, but he's going to be playing hurt.
Quad.
You know who I'm leaning towards? They're hot. They
Buffalo.
haven't lost since their bye. Sean McDermott. I don't know if he's a better coach, but I think his team's going to be better prepared for this game. I'm going with McDermott.
Okay.
Robert Rivera guy.
Any other week I would have picked them, but not this week.
It's just a weird game because
I don't have a choice.
the Bills are the weirdest team in the NFL. They have so much talent, and they should.
I feel like this week is the week we're in the championship with our fantasy team, and I got all the fantasy players that are sitting.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a choice. If I want the Steelers to get in, I got to pick
Well, that's the thing.
the Dolphins.
It's just such a weird game.
Josh Allen is almost, I've heard fans talk about this on Twitter the other day, that Josh Allen is approaching Jim Kelly's status in terms of how great he can be and how little success.
Well, I think
Jim Kelly with that famous, 4 times in a row?
4 times in a row.
Lost.
4 times in a row, yeah.
Heartbreaking.
Well, yeah, and look, the Bills right now, their window, it could be coming to an end soon. You don't know how much longer Sean McDermott. You don't know how much long of a leash they're going to give Sean McDermott. I don't know if there's another coach that can come in and unlock this team.
Right,
so.
right. I know Matt Price on staff. He's a Bills fan. I would any other week I'd pick him. I can't this week.
Well,
so there you go. There's our picks, right?
There's our picks.
Okay.
Okay. We got the national championship. We got some high school hoops.
We did a lot. We had
and,
good conversations.
Yeah, and of course we have
We still got a lot of football.
Oh,
to
still
talk
got a
about.
lot of football.
Playoffs.
Oh, you got
So-
best time of the year is coming up. It's January. I know I said Go Home podcast. I said that was the best time of the year because it was bowl season, but this is actually the best time of the year because you got playoffs.
Yeah.
So we'll be here.
We'll be here.
for
We'll
the
be
entire
back.
time.
If you like us, hit that subscribe button right at the top.
Join the hundreds of thousands.
Join the hundreds of thousands for the Hills of West Virginia podcast.
So
For Eric Ashby Brown,
I'm Stephen Morbius Askins.
back to you at the studios.